You are standing in your bathroom. It is early morning. The light is still soft. You step into the shower and you pull the curtain behind you. The water runs warm. You tilt your face up toward it. For a moment, everything is still. Then you look down. There it is, in the corner where the tile meets the floor. That dark line, that creeping grey-black edge working its way along the grout. You have scrubbed it. You have sprayed it. You have held your breath in that small space, your eyes burning from something in a bottle that smelled like a swimming pool, and you have scrubbed until your arm ached, and it came back. It always comes back. Maybe it is not just the corner. Maybe by now it has climbed the grout lines halfway up the wall. Maybe it has settled under the lip of the caulking, that soft white strip between the tub and the tile that is no longer quite white. Maybe you noticed it on the curtain first. A smell before you even saw the spots. Something damp and old that has no business being in a place where you go to get clean. You close your eyes under the water and try not to think about it, but you do think about it. You have thought about it for months. You keep buying the sprays, you keep scrubbing, and every 4 or 5 weeks that same line appears in that same corner, as if it never left, because it never did. That is what I want to talk to you about today. Let me tell you what that mold is costing you. Not just the scrubbing, not just the headache from the fumes. Let me give you the real number. The spray you are reaching for, the one with the bright label that promises it will dissolve mold on contact, no scrubbing required, that bottle costs you about $4. It lasts you about 2 weeks with daily use. Some of you are going through one a month. Some 2. That is anywhere from $50 to $150 every single year. On one bathroom, on one problem, and that is before the bigger bottles, the specialty mold removers. One of those runs $16 to $22 a bottle, and I have known women to keep 3 under the bathroom sink at once, just in case. As if having more of something that does not work is the same as having something that does. My oldest daughter came to me once, maybe 4 years ago now. She had just moved into her own home. Her first real house. She was standing at my kitchen table with a list in her hand, writing down the things she needed to buy to keep a proper house. Then I asked her, "Where did your grandmother keep her cleaning bottles?" She thought about it. Then she said, "I do not think she had very many." She was right. My mother kept a cellar shelf that held 3 or 4 things and nothing else. Vinegar, baking soda, a bar of lye soap she made herself. That was her whole cleaning supply. She kept a spotless house. I never once saw mold in her shower, and she never once bought a bottle of anything with a list of chemicals printed in letters too small to read. We have been taught to believe that cleanliness requires purchasing, that the right spray exists somewhere, in the right bottle, at the right price, and that if we just find it and buy enough of it, the problem will go away. My mother never believed that. She was right not to. Now I want you to sit with this for a moment. The mold in your shower is not a mystery. It is not something that requires a laboratory to solve. It is a living thing, and every living thing has conditions it needs to survive. What I am going to show you today costs less than $5. All of it, together, and you will very likely find that you already have one of these things in your kitchen right now. Stay with me. My name is Hannah Stoltz. I am Amish, and I have kept house in Holmes County, Ohio for nearly 40 years. I have raised 7 children in a house without the things most people consider necessary. No electric pump until the well was deepened. No dryer for 20 years. No store-bought cleaning products of any kind that I did not make or mix myself, and not for a very long time. In 40 years of keeping house, I have never once purchased a commercial shower spray. Not one bottle. My shower has not had a mold problem in over 2 decades. The women in my church community, my neighbors, my sisters in faith, women who have kept houses here in Holmes County for longer than I have, they do not buy these products either. They never have. What we use costs almost nothing. It has worked for generations before us, and it works every single time. Let me show you. Before we go any further, I will be honest with you the whole way. That is the only way I know how to do this. There are things this method will not fix, and I want to name them plainly. If you have natural stone in your shower, marble, granite, travertine, slate, do not use what I am about to teach you. The acid in vinegar will etch those surfaces permanently. It does not clean stone, it damages it. If your shower is stone, this is not for you. If your mold has spread beyond what you can see, if it has gone behind the wall into the drywall, if you can smell it outside the bathroom, if you press on the wall and it feels soft, that is a different problem. That requires a professional, not a spray bottle. I will always tell you when something is beyond the remedy. And if the mold has taken over more than 10 square feet of surface, if it is not a line of grout but an entire wall, call someone. Do not try to handle that yourself. But for the rest of you, for the dark line in the corner, the grey grout, the spotted caulking, the curtain that smells before you can even see why, that is exactly what this is for. And it works. Let me show you how. Here is what you need. All of it. Nothing else. 2 spray bottles, standard 16-ounce bottles. Any size near that will do. You can find them at any hardware store down the road for almost nothing. White distilled vinegar, undiluted. You want 5 to 8% acidity, which is what any plain white vinegar carries. Fill one of your spray bottles completely with vinegar. Do not water it down. Do not add anything to it. Plain, straight vinegar as it comes. A gallon of this runs about $3 wherever dry goods are sold. 3% hydrogen peroxide. This is the standard brown bottle you find at any pharmacy or general store. It costs less than $1 for 16 ounces. Pour this into your second spray bottle, directly from the bottle it comes in. Here is the rule I must say clearly before we go further, and I will say it twice so it stays with you. Do not mix these two things together, ever. Vinegar in one bottle, peroxide in the other. They are used one at a time, in sequence, never combined. I will tell you why in a moment. But this rule does not bend. If your grout already has mold sitting on it that you can see, take 2 to 3 tablespoons of baking soda, mix it with a little water into a thin paste, scrub it into the grout with an old brush, and rinse it clean before you begin. That clears the surface so the spray can do its work properly. You will also want a squeegee, any squeegee. If you do not have one, borrow your neighbor's, then buy your own. It costs almost nothing, and it changes everything. Now here is exactly what you do. Step 1. After your shower, before you do anything else, take the squeegee and pull the water off every wall, top to bottom, side to side. 30 seconds. Do every surface you can reach. This step matters more than you may think, because mold does not grow on dry surfaces. It cannot. Water is the first thing it needs. Take the water away, and you have already won half the battle. Step 2. Pick up your vinegar bottle. Spray every tile surface, every grout line, every caulk edge, every corner. The floor too. Let it sit. You do not wipe it. You do not rinse it. You leave it. The vinegar needs contact time to work, at minimum 5 minutes, but if you are leaving for the day, it can sit much longer without harm. You will smell it. That is correct. A sharp, clean smell. It fades completely once dry. Step 3. Come back once the vinegar has dried. This can be an hour later, or the next morning if you prefer. Now pick up your peroxide bottle. Spray the same surfaces, the same grout lines, the same corners, the same caulk. Let this sit as well. Do not rinse. That is the full daily method. Squeegee, vinegar, dry, peroxide, done. The cost of this, for 2 to 3 months of daily use, is under $5 total. Keep both bottles on the shower shelf or just outside the shower door, within reach so the habit forms. The vinegar will keep indefinitely. The peroxide keeps its strength for about 6 months in the dark bottle it comes in. Once you pour it into a clear spray bottle, keep it away from direct light. That is all there is to it. Let me tell you why this works, because once you understand it, you will never go back. Mold is a living fungus. Like all living things, it needs specific conditions to grow. It needs moisture, it needs a surface to grip, and it needs a certain level of acidity that it can tolerate. Vinegar contains acetic acid. When you spray it on tile and grout, it drops the surface down to a level far too acidic for mold to live in. Think of it like salting a garden slug. The salt draws out moisture from the cell, and the creature cannot survive it. Vinegar does something similar to mold cells. It disrupts their outer membranes and stops them from taking root. And it does not simply sit on the surface. It penetrates into the porous grout where mold begins and kills what is trying to grow there. A study published through the National Institutes of Health in 2015 tested vinegar against the most common mold found in bathroom environments, Penicillium chrysogenum, and found that vinegar at approximately 4% acetic acid effectively treated and stopped its growth. The United States Environmental Protection Agency also endorses plain white vinegar as a safe and effective household mold treatment for walls, tile, and bathroom surfaces. Vinegar alone addresses about 82% of known mold species. Hydrogen peroxide takes care of what vinegar does not, but it works in a completely different way. Peroxide releases oxygen molecules that physically break apart the proteins and the DNA of mold cells. Where vinegar creates an environment mold cannot live in, peroxide destroys what is already there at a structural level. Used together, in sequence, never mixed, they attack the problem from two sides at once. That is why this works when commercial sprays do not, and that is why my mother never had a mold problem, and neither does my oldest daughter now. I want to take a moment here. The women who write to me, and I read every single one, they often say some version of the same thing. They say, "My grandmother did this. I just forgot." A woman wrote not long ago to tell me her mother kept a bottle of vinegar under every sink in the house. She had thrown them all out after her mother passed. She said she wished she had not. Another man wrote to say he tried the vinegar method the week before and checked his grout 4 days later. Clean. Still clean. These old methods deserve to be remembered, and I am grateful every time someone takes the time to tell me. Now I want to be honest with you about something that took me a long time to say plainly. There is an entire industry built on your shower staying moldy. The household cleaning products industry. And their products are designed not by accident but by intention. To make sure that does not happen, here is the specific mechanism. The active ingredient in most commercial shower mold sprays is sodium hypochlorite, bleach. And bleach is good at one thing: it removes color. When you spray bleach on black mold, the mold goes pale. The dark color disappears. You rinse it. The tile looks clean. But bleach cannot penetrate porous surfaces. It cannot get inside grout. It cannot reach the root structure of mold that has established itself below the surface. So it bleaches what it can see, and it leaves the roots alive beneath the surface, completely untouched. Within 2 to 4 weeks, those roots send up new growth. The mold comes back, and you buy another bottle. My people have known for well over 150 years that vinegar prevents mold. It was standard practice in every dairy, every kitchen, every bathing room, across Holmes County, and across traditional households in Europe long before that. My grandmother never owned a single bottle of store cleaner. Her house smelled like wood and bread and lye soap. It did not smell like chemicals, and it was clean, truly clean, the kind of clean that stays. I want to hear from you. Tell me, have you tried vinegar in your home before? For cleaning? For laundry? For anything? What did you use it for, and did it work the way you hoped? And this, did your grandmother or your mother keep vinegar under the sink? Did she use it in ways that you have not thought about in a long time? These old methods deserve to be remembered, and I read every single one of your letters, everyone. Next time, I want to talk to you about something my mother did every autumn without fail. She pulled everything out from under every sink in the house, and she mixed a single solution that she used to clean every surface, from the kitchen counter to the wood stove to the stone floor in the mudroom. One thing, every surface. I want to show you what it was and how she made it. Subscribe so you do not miss it. Until then, waste nothing. And remember, the women who built this country with their hands knew things we are only just starting to remember.